You don't know nothing, but I know that.
Mose knows.
You don't know nothing, you don't know nothing, you don't know nothing.
Mose knows.
You don't know nothing, you don't know nothing, but I know that.
Mose knows.
You don't know nothing, you don't know nothing, you don't know nothing.
Mose knows.
You don't know nothing, you don't know nothing, but I know that.
Welcome to Pigskin Picks. It's your host, Wayne Breezie, and Mose knows we're back. We got to recap week 3 and get our picks on for week 4. Mose, what's good, baby? You can see that record, man. Woo! You got 4 more wins than the big bro right here. You got 4 more wins. I gotta get my tsunami on or something like that. I gotta figure this out.
Yeah, man, I'm just excited to be on, man. Today was a crazy day for me. I feel like every day I got to come on and record. It's like I'm starting to turn into Peachy. But it's not a Monday. I'm having manic every days that I gotta record. So I'm just happy that I'm here and that I didn't kill anybody getting here, bro.
Shout out to Peachy, co-host of the Nitty Gritty Niners show. Every Monday when we do our show, it's a Manic Monday. She didn't have one this week, so you're taking over for her.
I'm taking over, I'm taking over.
Mose, let's get right into it. It's week 4. Thursday night football. You got the Lions and the Packers. You know what I'm saying? Detroit's headed over. This is a NFC North divisional game right here. What are you looking for in this game, bro?
It's a short week. I think we got 2 teams on very different ends of the spectrum here. This is a home game for the Packers. I think this is going to be a tight division race. I do think these teams have a potential to split. But for some reason in my gut, man, I'm feeling the Detroit Lions in this one. To me, the Packers have struggled. They beat the Bears, but they struggled against the Falcons. They struggled against the Saints. And the Detroit Lions, while they did lose to the Seahawks, that was in overtime. They were able to win on the road in Kansas City. And I think if there's ever a time for a team to pull out a win in Lambeau, it would be at this point in the season before it gets cold. So I got my money on Detroit this week, man.
I like it, man. I'm gonna stick with the home team here. I feel like the Packers, they're gonna get Aaron Jones. I believe he'll be back. They're gonna get Christian Watson back. The Packers have been missing some of their biggest playmakers, and that's probably why the struggle. And then you got a kid like Jordan Love that's gonna grind it out to the very end and find a way to will his team to a victory. It's kind of hard to bet against a kid like that. I do like what Jared Goff is doing over there in Detroit. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league right now. He's playing phenomenal football. The Detroit defense is flying around. Aiden Hutchinson is going to be trying to get all over Jordan Love in this game. But I think it's close, and Jordan Love finds a way to edge his team to a victory. So I'm going to go with Packers in this one. It's the first one we're going to have to split on. You know what? Sunday's coming, Mose. And on Sunday, the first game is at 9:30 a.m. because it's over in London. It's across the pond. You got the Falcons against the Jaguars over in London. Jaguars are the home team. Falcons will be the road team. What are your thoughts, bro?
I think for me, I like both of these teams. I like what they've done so far early on in the season. The Jags lose a tough one to a division opponent in the Texans. Shout out to DeMeco Ryans, our former defensive coordinator, getting his first win as a head coach. I think he called a masterful game, but I also think that this Jaguars team wants to bounce back. And it's in London, and for the Jaguars, I think they've had London games the past couple of years. London has become their home away from home. So I think their players are going to be more used to it. They're used to the travel. They're used to where they'll be staying. They're used to the time difference because they've just been doing it more frequently. So I got Jaguars in this one.
Will the real Trevor Lawrence please stand up? Because I feel like inconsistent. Travis Etienne, inconsistent. Their offense looks inconsistent. Go back to the week 1 offense where you just look dominant. I will say the Falcons got a pretty tough secondary to throw against. When you got that kid out there roaming around, and you know who I'm talking about, that former Cincinnati Bengal kid, Mr. Bates. Like, it's gonna be tough. But I think I agree with you on this one. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars winning at their home, away from home. All right. All right. To me, this is the game of the week. Okay. You got the Miami hot, red hot, caliente hot Dolphins. Okay. You got the Miami Dolphins headed, you ready? To Buffalo. Now it's not super cold. You was talking about cold earlier to Green Bay. Miami might be able to get away with one here in Buffalo. This is the game of the week for me, bro. Who you going with, huh?
Definitely game of the week. I'm excited to watch this one. This one might be one for the ages. I think we're going to get a really, really good football game. After week one, the Bills have 2 straight weeks of showing how dominant they could be. And now they get to really prove themselves against, a division opponent, against an opponent that looks unstoppable right now. Um, it's hard to go against a red hot Dolphins team. But I think, emotionally, they always say don't get too high, don't get too low. But a 50, uh, it's crazy enough to put up a 50 burger. The fact that you won by a 50 burger, which means you put up more than 50. I think they shot they low for 2 weeks, bro. So I'm gonna go with the Bills just on the strength that, like, 70 points is a lot of points to put up, and I know that's been the talk of all sports media outlets. Been putting up 70 points, especially against a Denver Broncos team, which we all know is struggling. This Bills defense is not the Denver Broncos, but I got Bills at home in this one.
The Bills are stacked on every level on their defense without Von Miller playing yet. So he'll be back next week. I can tell you that right now. But my point is, I'm with you. I'm going with Bills, and this is not because I want to see the Dolphins lose. They may not be able to score. They're going to score against the Bills, but it won't be anywhere near that. They might get 20 points, maybe 20 points. They're going to come back down to earth against this Bill defense. And then on the opposite end, on the offensive side, you got Josh Allen, who's finally starting to churn up and heat up. The only issue with me is that the Dolphins can run the ball and the Bills can't run the ball. That's the only issue. Like, I feel like the Bills' run game still isn't. Eh. So, will speed be the determined difference in this game? I don't know, but I'm going with that Bills defense, man. Defense wins championships, and you're going to see it right here in the game of the week. This is the worst game of the week. I'm sorry, like, these are the two worst teams in the NFL. You got the Broncos, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, do we
And you
have to
got the
pick this one?
Bears. I'm going Broncos.
Do we have to pick this one?
We have to pick this one, bro. This is part of our.
Oh my
I'm going
god!
Broncos. You want to go Bears? Just say F it.
I'll go Bears. I'll just go Bears. You go Broncos. I'll go Bears. I have Bears on my list, so I don't feel bad about it. Because the Bears are the home team. I think the Broncos, they already got a win this year, right? Or no, they own
Nah,
3.
they both 0
They own
3.
3, right? They
Yeah.
both own 3. So somebody is going to get a win. Yeah, you go Broncos, I go Bears, and then we just figure it out from there, dog.
I just feel Russell Wilson, in my opinion, trumps Justin Fields. I don't know what Justin Fields has to do to play his style of football here, but the Bears just don't look right. They just something looks off. Like
Yeah,
everything.
it's coaching.
Yeah.
And it's funny how that came out a week ago where he was like, it could be coaching, and then they kind of like brushed it under. I think that's the problem. I think at some point in this season, once we get into December, I think Matt Eberflus is going to get fired.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
week
a lot of
7.
people on that staff are going to get fired.
Hmm.
And then I think in the offseason, they're going to look to bring in an offensive minded head coach. Now, that's not to say that that coach that comes in is going to want to rock with Justin Fields. Depending on, if they get the number 1 pick, they might be able to ship Justin Fields out, and they may be able to take Caleb Williams from USC if that's the route that they want to go. But I think a coaching change is going to have to come. They're going to probably look for a young offensive mind that, in the event that Justin Fields is the quarterback, that they'll be able to figure out an offense to get the most out of what he's able to do. Because there was a clip, DJ Moore was talking to Devin White from the Broncos, and Devin White was
Mhm.
like, "Man, I know they're not using you like they supposed to," and
Mhm.
DJ Moore agreed with him. So like, it's a lot of turmoil going on, and I feel like the first people to go not going to be the players; it's going to be the coaches.
It's gonna be the coaches. All right, man. You got another divisional game, right? You got AFC North. You got the Ravens and the Browns. All right, Ravens coming off a loss. The Browns coming off of a victory. All right, so both teams are 2-1. Is the real Deshaun Watson back? Uh, this is tough for me. I want to pick the Ravens, but I'm going with the Browns. I'm going before you here, and all right. I have my reasons, bro, but the Ravens don't have their running back is Lamar Jackson. Their quarterback is Lamar Jackson, and hell, if he could throw it to himself, he'll be the wide receiver as well. I like Zay Flowers, that's your boy, but for some reason, without I don't know, without a solid run game, the wide receivers are like obsolete. He's not using his tight end and Mark Andrews like he used to. I'm going Browns.
Listen. For those of you who will be tuning in, if you have not yet caught an episode of What's Your Fantasy with Crystal Peachy B and my brother Wayne Breezy, you need to tune in. Stop playing. Get your life together. But I shouldn't have tuned in because now Peachy got me second guessing my picks because Peachy decided to open up the scroll and read all the names that is on this Baltimore Ravens injury
That are
report.
injured. and
And
from the defense to the offense, bro.
from the defense to the offense, it's a long, long, long list. And they're on the road. It's tough. This is tough. But because I have a little bit of a lead, I think I could take some gambles. I'm
Okay.
gonna stick with my pick.
You
I'm
going
gonna
with the
go
Ravens.
Ravens. I'm going
Okay.
Ravens here.
Okay.
I think they want to bounce back. Listen, Justin Tucker rarely misses. And they would
That
have won that game against the Colts had he
that
hit
is
that
true.
67 yarder. And I don't know if maybe weather had it because
It was just short.
it was just short. That's
It
all
was
it
just
was. I
short.
don't know if weather had something to do with it, whether
But
it was
barely
the
short
ground was
though. Cause
slippery.
it right.
Yeah.
It was barely short.
So they were a 67-yard
I
field goal
needed
away
though.
from
I
winning
needed
that
that six
game. You
points,
know what I'm
bro.
saying?
I
And
needed
so
that six. I need those 6 points. I needed those
I
6
know.
points.
I know. So even with the injuries, this Baltimore team is a really, really good football team. And you know who's not injured besides Lamar Jackson? Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith on that defense, they are healthy. So I think those linebackers, they get after Deshaun Watson, they get after Jerome Ford and that new, running back by committee group. So I think the Ravens have enough to pull that one out.
All right, we differing there. We got the Bengals at the Titans. Bengals on the road. Great fourth quarter game from the Bengals. I don't know what's wrong with the Titans. Derrick Henry looks no longer like he's the king. Who you going with in this game?
Bengals, I think they figured some things out. I know it was
I
Monday
think so
night.
too.
I know it was kind of rusty in the beginning, but get the ball to Jamar Chase. I don't know what's going on with T. Higgins. He had a couple of drops in that game that he normally doesn't have, but I think offensively they're starting to figure it out. Defensively, listen, stick with what you know. Stop the run and get after the passer with those bookend pass rushers that you got. You got Sam Hubbard, you got Trey Hendrickson. Get after the quarterback. This is a great game for them to get after Ryan Tannehill, apply pressure, frustrate them. I'm going Bengals.
Bengals it is. Rams, Colts. Matthew Stafford, Rams lost on
Ooh.
Monday night. Colts got that field goal victory. If Anthony Richardson plays, this is a different. It's going to be a different game. Like I feel like
It's going to be a different game, but I think even if he doesn't play, I think Gardner Minshew playing last week warmed him up enough. This Rams team, I said it in the beginning of the year. I thought they were trying to turn some things around by beating the Seahawks, But really looking at this team, they're not as good of a football team as they used to be. Let's just say that. And I think they're going to be on the road again. So I don't know if they stayed on the East Coast or if they went back to LA and then are going to fly to Indianapolis. But if that travel is involved, you get Anthony Richardson back, even if not, like I said, Gardner Minshew, had a week to get himself prepared for this game. And this Colts defense is real. Uh, you can try to go to Puka Nacua as much as you want. But I think after the first couple of weeks, the Bengals put a game plan together to kind of limit him. I think the Colts will implore the same thing. Give me Indianapolis in this one.
Yeah, I'm going with the Colts as well. I think they play a lot of press man. I felt like that's what was jamming Puka Nakua up in the game last week with the Rams. That's why we couldn't figure out as 49er fans, why are we playing him off so much, which turned him into like a superstar wide receiver week 2 of the NFL. We were just giving up the underneath route. Well, teams were like, nah, we just going to jam you at the freaking line and see if you can get open. And so I feel like the Colts have that type of identity on their defense with their defensive backs. I'm going to go with the Colts in this one as well. All right, let's go Buccaneers and Saints. Both teams are 2-1.
Yeah, I think the Buccaneers played well against Philly. I think Philly is just a good team and caused some turnovers here. I think the injury to Derek Carr is going to prove to be something that maybe the Saints can't get past. I'm not sure if he's going to play in this game. Even if he does play, he's not going to be 100%. But if Jameis Winston has to play, hey, I can't believe that I'm about to say this. I think I trust Baker Mayfield a little bit more than I trust Jameis Winston. It's a divisional game, so it's going to be close. But give me the Buccaneers on the road.
I like the Saints defense. And I'm not saying they'll be able to take away Godwin and Mike Evans, but they have a good secondary. I think Jameis Winston, if he's got to play, because Kurt Carr is listed somewhat day to day. I mean, not Kurt Carr, Derek Carr. He's listed
Your
somewhat.
gospel mode.
The gospel singer, right?
You had rehearsal today.
Yeah, he's somewhat listed day to day. But I think another week in the offense with the game plan, I think Jameis Winston will be fine against the Buccaneers. So I'm gonna go with the Saints in this one at home. I'm gonna go with the Saints. All right, let's keep it moving. We got let's go Vikings at the Panthers.
Vikings.
That easily, huh?
Yeah. I don't see them going 0-4.
I didn't see him going 0-3. Like, look, I look. If Andy Dalton plays, we got us a game. If Bryce Young plays, then it's Vikings by a landslide.
I think it's Vikings either way.
Because Andy and Thielen, they were connecting like they played before somewhere, in some past life, yo. They showed some. They didn't win, but they were able to move the offense a little bit. Miles Sanders and those guys. I'm going Vikings as well, but I was just curious to know, why? Like why you picked the Vikings? You know what I'm saying, to win this game. Like, but what about the Vikings?
I just don't see them. I just don't see them going 0-4. And
Simple as
listen,
that.
you blessed it on what's your fantasy. Justin Jefferson with 4 touchdowns. So
he gonna
if
kill
Justin
this
Jefferson
team,
get 4 touchdowns, it's a wrap. And we already know they kind of hurting in the cornerback position. No JC Horn,
bro.
CJ Henderson gets cooked. So
I think Justin Jefferson getting 4 touchdowns in this game. Justin Jefferson getting 4 touchdowns. Let's go Commanders at the Eagles. Another divisional game. 2-1 versus 3-0 team.
Hold on, Breezy. Hold on.
I got you.
Get Yo, my son plays too much, bro.
I love it.
He plays too much.
You gotta love
he's too much like me. He's too much like me, which is why I can't get too mad.
Commanders at Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah. Steelers at the Texans.
Oh. I picked against the Steelers against the Raiders. but I honestly didn't see anything that like would really have me to believe in this team. Yeah, they beat the Browns. Huh. Yeah, they beat the Raiders. Jimmy Garoppolo was Jimmy Garoppolo. CJ Stroud has been playing really, really good football, and this Texans defense is starting to figure some stuff out. If they can control uh George Pickens and kind of calm down Pat Fryermuth, I don't think Najee Harris is going to play a big part in this game. And again, this is another one too. Steelers had to fly from Pittsburgh to Las Vegas, back home, then they got to go to Houston. That's a lot of travel involved. I'm going Texans.
Yeah, like I think the Texans defense is on to something. I think they're finally like starting to like build that continuity that they need. And then from an offensive side, they got the rookies involved. Like, you can still rock with the savvy vet and Nico Collins, and was it Brooks, Robert, the other wide receiver that used to play for the Rams, can't
Robert
think of his
Woods.
name. Woods, right? So they used to rock out, but now Tank Dell is emerging. Now they're starting to utilize him and his skill set, speed, getting open, all that type of stuff. I like what I'm seeing from the Texans. They factor in a little bit of more Dalton Schultz for me. We'll be good to go. But I'm going to go with the Texans in this one as well. We got the Raiders at the Chargers, AFC West showdown. Jimmy Garoppolo is in the concussion protocol. And Austin Eckler was at practice today, but he was limited. That's a good sign. Keenan Allen is a fantasy football god, but they did lose Mike Williams for the season.
They lost Mike Williams, but I like Josh Palmer, and they drafted Quentin Johnston for a reason. I think this is why they drafted Quentin Johnson. He's a similar type of wide receiver to Mike Williams, maybe with a little bit more speed. And now is his opportunity to step up. But besides that, and even if Austin Eckler doesn't play, the way the Raiders played against the Steelers, I think is indicative of how they're going to play throughout the season. A lot of up and downs. For some reason, Josh Jacobs had a great season last year, but he's not quite returning to that form. Maybe it's because he sat out and held out until the beginning of the season, or maybe it's because teams now have a lot of film and they're figuring out how to get penetration against this offensive line and kind of shut that running game down. And I mean, I hate to pile on the guy, but when Jimmy Garoppolo is your quarterback, the best thing that you can do against him is to make him one dimensional. Take away the running game, take away his ability to use play action, right? Um, and I know the Chargers are struggling on defense, but this may be one of those games where the defense is able to show up and show out, and I think they get back on track, more than they did last week against the Vikings. So I'm going Chargers here.
I'm with you. I'm going Chargers. Next up, we got the Patriots at the Cowboys. The Patriots got their first win last week against the New York Football Jets, and the Dallas Cowboys were embarrassed by the Arizona Cardinals, knocking the undefeated team out. All right, so let's go, man. Who you rocking with in this one?
Cowboys, for the simple fact that they did get embarrassed by the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Uh, Now they want to get back into the good graces of America and all of the sports analysts that have been talking about them. Shout out to Stephen A for laughing at the Cowboys as he usually does. But I also think the Cowboys are just a better football team right now. Patriots on the road. Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, just to show the Patriots some type of like hope. Your defense is probably one of the top defenses in the league. If you can force Dak to turn the ball over, you will have a shot. The only thing that screws me over with the Patriots is I just don't like their offense. I don't think their offense has any type of continuity. They're not running the ball well with Ramondre Stevenson. Ezekiel Elliott is like high on the waiver wire, especially this week because he's going home to play against his former team. So, like, this kind of crazy, right? The Patriots can win, but they got to put it together on offense. so that their defense can capitalize out there and take advantage of the Cowboys offense. So I'm going with the Cowboys here because I don't think they're going to get embarrassed 2 weeks in a row. But if they do, the laugh videos are on their way. Cardinals at 49ers.
We not the Cowboys. Give me my Niners.
There it is. Sunday night football. I don't know how many people will be watching this game, but it's going to be the Chiefs at the New York Football Jets. Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I'm just going with Chiefs. And then Monday night football, to cap it all off, you got the Seahawks going against the Giants, the little Giants.
This one was also tough for me, right? Because the Seahawks are playing well. They were able to beat the Lions in overtime. They beat the Panthers at home. And they look like they're kind of putting it together. Finally giving Kenny Walker the ball, allowing him, get loose in the running game. But then there's always that letdown game from them, man. It's just like, and they did allow Carolina to put up 27 at home. I don't know how healthy the Giants are going to be. Last week, short week, they were without Saquon Barkley. They were without Andrew Thomas. They should be getting some of those guys back. I'm sure Saquon is going to want to play. I might have to pick them and just let them disappoint me, and I hope that they won't. I'm going to go Seahawks here just because I don't trust the Giants right now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know this should be an easy one, but I kind of agree with you. I'm just going to go with the Seahawks just off the favor that they're right now the better team. Now, can they be the better team on the road? That would be the question. Traveling all those miles east. So that's going to be the question. It is on Monday night. They will have a little bit extra time to prepare for the game. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I mean, the Giants are going to struggle for a while. And I want the Giants to win, though. But I'm going to be smart and pick the Seahawks to win this game because I'm trying to catch up to Mose. We got a bet going on. I don't know if y'all knew about that. But listen, Mose, that's our week 4 picks, man, here on Pigskin Pick'ems. Listen, if you want to shop Residency, use the promo code SFBreezy. Go to www.residency.com. Grab your apparel today. You'll save $5 on your purchase. We will see you guys next week. Pigskin Picks, baby. We out.